Hello, sir. It is
How are
so
you?
nice to talk to you today. I got to start with the fact that your fans are so invested. I love the fact that the Hulk has had such an indelible mark. You were the first live action Hulk, and I mean, I grew up watching The Incredible Hulk. It was one of my favorite shows. What do the fans mean to you today, and what do you find they talk to you about the most?
Well, it's funny when I did the Hulk back then, the pilot, Captain America, and Spider-Man failed at the TV series, so I was very nervous, hoped that the show would get some attention. And what's great that you fast forward now, the fans, they come up to me because when I did the Hulk, every episode of the Hulk had a laser compelling message about life, like Bill Bixby, anxiety, homicide, different things happen. The fans love to talk about the makeup on the movie, about how the series was made, about the character, how much they were affected by the character. And especially you got three generations of families. So people see the CGI in the movie, they much rather watch the series because it was great because even now, if I get a chance to watch it, I watch it because it brings back memories. And every episode is wonderful with the stories. You learn so much from it.
What was one of your favorite memories from being on set? Because I know, I mean, it filmed for quite a while. You had a lot of content to make.
Well, one time I was in the motorhome, I think it was the second season, and someone knocked on the door. And I remember I said, come in. I wasn't looking. So the door opened. The guy comes in with glasses and salt pepper hair with a kid. And he closed the door and he said, excuse me. He said, my name is Cary Grant, the famous actor. He said, I'm here with my nephew. Could you take a picture? I couldn't talk. He must have really thought I was the Hulk. I was so mesmerized. I was alone with him in the motorhome. I was completely ecstatic about it. So that made me realize one of my favorite moments because I was getting respect from one of the greatest actors of our generation. And
You've been. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
but,
Well, I'm just curious. You've been to Toronto a few times for Fan Expo and the Comic Expo. Do you find fans are different at all here, being Canadian or anything, or are all fans kind of the same everywhere?
no, I find the same everywhere. What I like about Toronto, because over 40 years ago, I tried out for the Toronto Argonaut. I played football for a short time. And then I had a lot of fun because I remember I stayed there for for a whole month in Toronto. And especially I have a lot of friends over there too, because, as a bodybuilder and fan, and then, people, because Toronto is a very wonderful multicultural town. And it's just, I have a lot of friends and everything. It's nice to always come back, especially now with the pandemic. I was home for 13 months, but it's nice that people are getting out of the pandemic. They want to get out, have a good time, and then they're just sitting home. So for me, it's been over 5 years, I think.
Well, in terms of the show, and then also obviously your other love of fitness and bodybuilding, how often do the fans want to talk about that as well? Because obviously that's a big part of all of it.
Well, my legacy as a bodybuilder, my legacy as an actor and everything. Also, I have this huge series coming out called The Offer, Making of the Godfather at Paramount.
Yes.
That's coming out April 28th. Also, a lot of fans come up, they talk about bodybuilding, about fitness because of my physicality. So I have two different worlds. And now my Facebook, I'm coming out with this new NFT that people get a chance to see these pictures for the first time. That people have never seen these pictures before. So I'm very excited about sharing all this information.
How often are you how much of a part of your day to day is bodybuilding and working out and everything?
I train almost every day. I train light. For example, I do cardio for 40 minutes and then I'll do weight training for half hour. I've been training now for 56 years, but that's why I look so good because I pay attention to eat well, sleep well, and to train well. It's important to have that consistency because we have a good consistency like that's done, that affects everything else you do in life. A lot of people who don't exercise, they indulge drinking too much alcohol, drugs, stuff like that. Then they don't age as well. That's why it's important that your health is your greatest wealth. And anybody could be in great shape as long as you compete with yourself.
That's a great message today, especially. Yeah. I think health is important to talk about.
But that's why I enjoy the Comicon because especially that I can talk to the fans like the Q&A. They take up a selfie, take a picture. When I was a kid, I didn't have this. I would give anything to have a picture taken of me a celebrity because it gives them a lot of reassurance because everybody comes to the con, they want to have that superhero connection.
Who were you a fan of when you were growing up?
Sean Connery, I love James Bond. I used to watch the original Superman series because as a kid, I thought Superman was real because as a kid growing up, because overcoming diversity, whether my hearing or speech, I escaped the pain by reading the different comic books like Superman, Spider-Man. I visualized trying to be like them. That kept me alive. That saved my life.
That's amazing. So you actually read the comics back as a kid?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people made fun of me reading comics. I saved all these comics. And I used to read it religiously every day, especially when you read the comics and then you visualize you're almost like in animation with them and the character. It takes you out. It's like a fantasy world. It's fantastic. And as a kid, I remember at the bottom of the comic, it said written by Stan Lee. I thought he was some kind of a ghostwriter, but later on, I eventually met Stan Lee, and he appeared on a few of my shows, The Incredible Hulk. And I told Stan, I said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be what I am because you made my life what it is today. And back then, I don't know if you know this, Stan Lee, people that he told people he write comics, they walk away from him. They thought it was embarrassing. But then he created the Marvel Universe. That's why it's all about that passion. You have that passion, it makes you rich because a lot of people have doubt. You stay away from the naysayers.
Well, I have to ask this question. I doubt you can even answer it, but I'm going to ask anyway. Is there any chance that you're going to be in She-Hulk, or I assume you're at least hoping you could be in She-Hulk?
I won't be in She-Hulk, but I heard it's a good movie, be a lot of fun. But I'm hoping in the future. I talked to Disney about being in the future adventure movie, playing a different kind of role. But I'm excited about this offer to make up the Godfather coming out. That's going to be huge.
Well, I was on the panel with some of the other cast not long ago. They had a panel for the TCAs. It sounds amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about Lenny?
Well, this series, Lenny Montana is a former hitman, and they hired him to be in the film because the series calls The Offer. And it's all how The Godfather got made. The 10 episodes, how The Godfather got made with the studio and the mark, everything. We have fantastic actors. And as you can see how, because this is the 50th anniversary of The Godfather this year, and billions of people have seen it, but you get to see how the movie got made up to the premiere. It's fantastic because of the period piece. Mm-hmm. And we all filmed, it takes place in the 70s. So I got the big sideburns and wear the 70s outfit. It'd be a lot of fun to watch, especially the special effects and the huge production.
I'm talking to, it's fizzing out there, but I'm talking to Robert Duvall on Thursday for the original film, and then doing a bit of offer stuff too. So it's great to talk about this. Were you a fan of The Godfather when it came out?
Oh, huge, because I remember there was a crowd of my friends in the corner talking about the movie, about Marlon Brando's speech at the beginning when the movie opened. And I was saying to myself, wow, because at the time, I didn't realize the impact it had on the fans and everything, and especially that, it's a historical film. I remember that they were talking about Lenny Montana because Lenny Montana was the big guy with the hitman in real life. And I remember, like, funny, 50 years later, I'm playing this character because I just love Lenny Montana. But in the movie, his name was Lucy Brasti.
Right.
Yeah. And then he practiced his speech to meet the Godfather. I mean, the Godfather is a flawless movie. I mean, you can't find anything wrong. It's perfect. Probably the greatest movie ever made.
I can't wait to see it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the episode. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, last thing I'll ask you is, what are you a fan of today? What are you watching on TV? What are you into?
I watch different shows because I fly a lot. I like to watch different series. I'm watching now called The Squid Game.
Yes.
Wow, I'm halfway through. But it's nice to see that these other countries like Germany, like India, like Korea, they're making movies, not just American movies like Australia. It's nice to see how different directors come aboard and get to see. But The Squid Game really got my attention.
I mean, it's an intense watch.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, so I enjoy series like that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for the time. Really, just a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So Robert Duvall said hi.